can see Esports Technologies as an esports focused kind of company. What plans, I know you're kind of heavy in the US, what are your plans for Europe as well?
Yeah, actually with a lot of the news that we've had and with esports being much more regulated in Europe, we're actually very focused on the European market as opposed to the US. So we're a US company, but actually where we're looking to drive a lot of our business related to esports betting is into Europe. And some of the things that we're doing with the Aspire assets and things that we've worked on is kind of pushing that forward.
And you mentioned the Aspire assets. What has Aspire Global's B2C assets had on your business operations? What effects has it had?
Yeah, so the Aspire assets gives us, a huge amount of immediate penetration, right? They have a lot of users in these European markets that we don't currently offer. They offer us some regulatory acceleration in what we can do with esports, and they have a very active user base in kind of the age range that also would be kind of conducive for esports. So they have kind of a younger audience that would be, that we are looking to be able to bring into and introduce esports betting, where maybe in the previous points they haven't been able to be introduced to it.
Now, Aspire Global's B2C assets, from the first start, don't appear to be overtly esports focused. What does this mean for Esports Technology?
Yeah, so Esports Technologies, again, we started our business. Esports betting, a lot of people consider is just a subset of either gaming or even sports betting. So what we're really looking to do, as I said before, is take this active audience, right, a really good audience that's been built around some very good brands, and introduce them to kind of the esports side as esports has grown in popularity, right? So 3 years ago, people didn't talk about esports as much and esports betting, but it's grown considerably year on year, quarter on quarter, and so we feel that it's in a good place with a better offering to introduce that customer set to.
How do you see sports and esports bettors and their preferences, and how do they differ?
Yeah, so we have seen some different preferences. I think that they tend to be similar to sports bettors, right? They're looking for things to do in play. They're looking for things to do pre-play. They're looking for value and pricing and bet on the things that they want, right? So a CS:GO fan is looking to bet on CS:GO, just like a Chelsea fan, as we're here at this wonderful event today, would be looking to kind of bet on their home team or Chelsea. The main difference with esports punters is kind of, I say it's going back to the old school. So I worked at Betfair a while back, and horse racing tended to be very desktop driven, right? Broadcast. So esports bettors kind of consume that same way. They're watching multiple streams at multiple times. They're watching all their games. It's very kind of desktop and stream interactive. So what we're trying to do at Esports Technologies is really reach them with the betting opportunities like in that kind of broadcast environment. And that's what we think is a really core, universal selling prop that we've built into our own technology. And that's what we think is kind of different. So yes, they're bettors. They like value. They like to win. They don't like to lose, of course. But it's reaching them where they're consuming the content in a kind of unique way. That's kind of where we're focused.
Where do you see esports heading in the next 5 years? Do you think CS:GO is still going to dominate the sector, or do you think there's going to be kind of new players?
Yeah, so esports betting right now, most people are actually wagering on 3 main games. Like you said, CS:GO is probably the leader. There's League of Legends and Dota 2. They tend to be, they have almost the majority, 80% of all betting kind of happens there. But the interesting fact that I like to use is, of that 85%, only 47% of all the views. So if you take all the Twitch broadcasts and all the YouTube broadcasts, only 47% of the views are on those same games. So in 5 years, I would, just given that, there's got to be a game like Fortnite maybe, or Valorant tends to be a very popular game now coming up, or even maybe some of the sports games like FIFA, NBA 2K, that will, kind of come up and challenge that big 3. So I think CS:GO will always be big. It's a great tournament. It's a great competitive game. But I definitely think that there'll be probably in the next 5 years 1 or 2 games that become much more popular.
Moving forward, will we see a lot more non-esports brands being integrated into the esports technology portfolio?
Yeah, I mean, the beauty of kind of the Aspire transaction is it gives us a much greater kind of springboard to jump off and look at more non-traditional or non-esports related stuff. So we're really trying to build kind of this ecosystem, right? And number one thing we're doing is we're really trying to build a very valuable portfolio of retained kind of younger millennial type customers. So once we can kind of get them in with esports, then we're looking to really get creative around how we offer sports or casino to them. And that's some of the things that we're really working on, taking our expertise of marketing already to this younger audience, and then maybe changing a bit of how we do like casino or sports to give them a more customized, like I'll call it a millennial driven experience. But that's our hope, to then kind of bring all the solutions together for a kind of a complete offering.
What are your predictions for the betting and gaming industry in 2022?
So 2022, betting and gaming in general. So I'll attack it in general, then maybe an esports focused prediction. So I think in general, again, given what you're seeing, popularity, people coming out of COVID, I think 22, at the end of the year, you're going to see some innovations come up. There's already people working on certain things. I think you're going to see kind of a really cool set of innovations that come out of the space. There hasn't been a real good one since like mobile betting, maybe some cash out, some of these features. So I think everyone's been kind of forced to consolidate themselves with COVID, and I think you're going to see a much kind of greater opening of some innovation on that. On the esports side, I think you're just going to see a much greater focus on it, and you're going to see a much larger volume of people kind of betting on it. I think you're going to see it become more popular in markets maybe that they haven't seen, like the US, for example, where you could say it hasn't been as widely accepted in the US as it is in Europe, but I think you'll see some of that kind of come on in the next 12 months.
Esports Technologies is a silver sponsor. Why did you choose to sponsor Betting on Sports Europe?
Well, this is one of the premier events on the calendar, as we like to say. It brings a very focused expertise. It's a nice event that you can kind of feel that you can still talk to people and have a very good business discussion. We get to get access to the market leaders. We get our brand in front of key decision makers. I spoke here 5-6 years ago at Betfair. I really liked the event then. The venue's amazing, and you guys do a really good job organizing. So it's an easy call for us.